how are you able to talk to me? Is Stacks okay? I mean, I saw the guys that came into the office and they looked like trouble, and I didn't know what to do. She said as her anxiety increased
The
again.
art of
I
storytelling
have a lot to tell
begins
you.
with
You are going to have to
manifesting,
remain calm,
pulling
Doc
from your
said.
imagination the type of story you want to share with the world. Then you have to seek the inspiration. Once you have the inspiration, you have to create the story, which is the fun part, the journey, the process. That's the art of storytelling.
I'm the husband, the father, the son. I'm a writer. Most importantly, I love to be an introvert. It helps me to create my writing style. It drives me for that alone time that I need. From Beaufort, South Carolina, home of the Gullah Geechee. That's in my blood. I always say if you cut me, I'll probably leak out blue, just from being from Beaufort, the Gullah Geechee ancestors. Growing up, I was always a child that loved alone time. I have an older brother. We pretty much I'm the younger brother watching my older brother go through things, jump fences, just kind of being in his shadows. So as the younger child, I found myself playing alone a lot, developing that creative space. And I would say that led me to playing with toys, creating my imagination, allowing my imagination to grow. As a teenager, that imagination grew into writing songs, writing lyrics, being in a so-called rap group with my family members, the Lions Den. That evolved into my young adulthood, being a DJ, finding myself to create through music. And eventually that evolved into what I am now. And I feel like I always was a writer. So yes, here I am, the introverted writer. In the beginning, I can't remember what I first wrote down on a piece of paper. But I do remember, I would say, how it felt. Just putting words on the paper. I probably was around when I actually, I would say, formatted or do some structure writing. Probably was like in middle school when I first started to take it serious. In high school, I can remember, and this may not be popular, I skipped class to go to actually the library to write down some rhymes in my head or whatever I was thinking at the time. I skipped my class. I remember it was a sociology class I skipped. I went to the library. That was my thing. Sit down in a quiet space and started writing. And from there, I knew I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to get some time to write. So yes, in the beginning, it was just like Nas said, one mic. It was just one pen with me, pen and the paper, just putting my thoughts onto the paper. And some people call that journaling, but back then it was just writing what I felt was needed at the time. Why do I create? I create because it's a passion that I have to be a writer. Like I said, it didn't happen overnight. It took years of developing, years of sacrificing. But the main reason why I do it is because I feel at peace when I'm creating. Recently, I'm on this journey where I feel like I'm creating now because I'm using my gifts to serve I have to use my gifts to serve a bigger purpose. And it's like it's been in front of my face the whole time, but it's like now I'm just now realizing that I have to use my gift to serve a bigger purpose. So that's my why. Like, I have to serve a bigger purpose at this point. It's the beauty about that is I can be fulfilled with creating stories that I like, but what am I portraying? What am I saying in my messages when I'm creating? So as long as I keep that vision or that passion, and to understand I'm creating because I have to serve a bigger purpose, I'm using my gifts, I think we'll land on solid ground. The creative process, this is actually my favorite part of being a writer. And I'm pretty sure all the introverts in the world will relate to this. You know, having that alone time, scheduling your coffee time, waking up early in the morning if you're a morning creator or if you're a night creator. But me personally, I like to write in the morning, from anywhere from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Brew a nice cup of coffee. You know, when everyone else is sleeping, go in your little writing space and just start creating. You know, I sit there for probably about 5 to 10 minutes and I just think about what I want to write. Once I start tapping the keys, it naturally flows. If I didn't do an outline, I will just sit there and think. But if I have an outline, I'll kind of go off of it. But definitely the creative process it's a gift and it's a joy to actually be in that process on your journey. So enjoy it while it lasts. The vision for my brand right now, I would like for it to for my books to become a movie adaptation. I would love to see my books portrayed in a movie on the big screen, you know, or even on a Netflix deal, Netflix series, Apple series, whatever type of offers that's out there. But that's kind of where I'm at long term with it. Short term, my vision is to continue to create, continue to put God first in everything I do, you know, to make my vision come true, you know, because He gave us the visions in our dreams or whatever in our minds so we can go out and fulfill it. But definitely continue to create, continue to work on Supreme Beingz. I have 4 more books in the series to finish create. So I just want to continue the journey and create these books, and hopefully by the time I get to book 7, it will be offers on the table. My first book in the series, Supreme Beingz, Finding the Energy, like I say, that's the first book in the series. I created that story in 2017 when my wife had our second daughter. I started writing that book. Yeah, I actually have a second edition of the cover, but the first cover, the OG cover, is it's the one, the all-seeing eye in the middle of the book, looking over the city. And if you look closely, there's like a DNA strand on the back of the book, which represents the powers that the family members endure. For the second book, Supreme Beingz 2, Weapons of the Spirit, I spelled weapons. I took off the S and replaced it with a Z, just to represent the Hebrew letters Z, which is Zain, which signifies a sword and a sharp weapon. So throughout the series, you'll see that I replaced the letter S with the letter Z, as in Supreme Beingz is replaced with a S, replaced with a Z. Just represents the sharpened weapons. And it can also go back to my Wu-Tang days. You don't have to add that. But that was definitely some inspiration growing up. And the third book I currently have right now is The Aura of Invincibility. It's pretty much just saying that the main character in this book, she's the main character for book 3. Each book has different characters, but for book 3, Lauren is the main character, and I just wanted to focus on her because she's an aura that, that can't be denied. And it just showed that her power that radiates throughout the universe and the realms that they're dipping into just shines bright. And that's how I feel about women in particular, particularly Black women. They're just the power and the aura of invincibility. For that book is pretty much dedicated to my daughters and my wife. Some of my challenges can evolve from balancing work life, being a full-time employee, a full-time dad, husband, all of the above. But I said this a lot of times, you just have to make time for what you enjoy doing. But the challenge for me personally is sometimes balancing everything. I haven't had writer's block in a while. That used to be a challenge of mine with when creating a series that I'm working on. But lately I haven't had any writer's block, but the challenge that I'm currently facing is just starting a new job, mapping out my schedule, not being as structured as I would like to be, but just running out of coffee. That can be a challenge too. Waking up in the morning, no creamer, the store's not open. So it's just plan ahead. Sometimes you just have to plan ahead to prevent those roadblocks as a creator. I always had this desire to write or create a story that would represent the African American community. Not even just African Americans, but just people of color. But just basically coming from Beaufort, I created a story. I created a series based on the grandparents who pray for their grandkids to be blessed with powers. And throughout the story, the grandkids receive their powers, their own gifts, I would say, their own gifts. They're sent on this journey. They have this purpose to fulfill. So throughout this journey and throughout their purpose, they all kind of stray away as they get older, but they always had their gifts and powers within them. And it just so happens that they have to come together to use their powers for the greater good of mankind. And that's the premise of the Supreme Being series. Basically, family members that's blessed with superpowers, but they get their powers from the source, from the Almighty. And it gets interesting as they start to use their powers. Some take different paths, some take different journeys, but they all have to come back to the center. Sharpen weapons. And it can also go back to my Wu-Tang days. You don't have to add that. But that was definitely some inspiration growing up. Clear. My name is Damon Thompson, but you can call me DMT. All I need is one pen.